And we so
Yeah.
quickly fall out of gratitude
Mm.
when we
It's
become
so easy
used
to
to,
do.
yeah. When we become like used to the privilege of our life, used to the privilege of our jobs, of our relationships, of our kids, of our dog, we think, well, you know, and the Stoic people talk about this. I think I'll probably talk about this in the book as well, because these are just like clearly the only ideas I have. I've put them all in there. About how they used to do that, like hedonistic adaptation exercises to literally take the things out of their life that they really value, just to remind themselves of what they had. And it kind of seems like, gratitude is a very important thing.
Have you got like a defined gratitude practice that you do, like gratitude journaling or that kind of stuff?
The gratitude journaling thing takes place in the notes of my phone, where sometimes I feel the need to remind myself of what I'm really, really grateful for. I think I do have a bias towards feeling grateful all the time. I really just get overwhelmed sometimes with like, I'll have like a little flash. You probably get this when you think, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the especially now that I'm on Dragon's Den, and that was a real vision of mine from when I was like 12 years old. I'm like, oh my, this is, and I said this in my show the other day. I said on stage in the Diary of a CEO Live, I said that, I said to the audience, I said, like, I think everybody in this room is living a life that you once dreamed of living, but you're not even happy about it because present you has told you that future you will be even happier when you get to somewhere else. But like, this is it. This was the fucking dream. And look at you living it. Look at you as your, doctors and lawyers, and you've got the job at that brand you always wanted to work for. This is it. And I have to do that to myself sometimes because, because if not, you'll never get there. If your happiness is always, as I say in the book, if it always lives somewhere in the future behind some goal or it's the attainment of some task or whatever, it always will be there. And that was certainly the case for me. And from what I read about you, where you were talking about like outcomes and not being too attached to the outcomes, sounds like it might have been similar.
Yeah, very much so. I have to remind myself on a daily basis as well to kind of be grateful for all of the things. Sometimes, like if I'm in the habit of doing like a morning journal, I'll like write down a list of 3 things, and it's often simple things like, this cup of coffee in my hand, or Angus, or like my housemate, and just like this nice chat that we had. And I think like for me, if I don't remind myself, I always just think in kind of hustle mode of like, all right, cool, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. But like it was pretty cool yesterday. Like we went on a tour of Gymshark HQ up north, and I was just thinking that I can't believe this is my job. Like I get to do this for work. This is absolutely sick. And even now being here, like this is sitting here talking to you is what I get to do for work. And if like, I don't know, 18-year-old me were to imagine being in this position now, I'd just been like, oh my God, this is the dream. Have you come across a guy called Brandon Sanderson?
Nope.
He's an author. He writes. He's my favorite author. He does these incredible like fantasy novels, Stormlight Archive, huge series. In it, there's like a phrase that I always come back to around this point. There's this like order of knights. They're called the Knights Radiant, and they have like their like charter, their ideals. And their first ideal is life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination. And it's that final bit of journey before destination that I remind myself of on a basically daily basis, where it's kind of like Miley Cyrus's thing of it's the climb. It's not about how fast I get there. It ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. And the way I try and remind myself of this point of I am enough is thinking and really trying to internalize that the journey is more important than the destination. And I think we do need a destination. Like, the fact that I want to, I don't know, write this book or whatever, like that's a destination. But now that I've got that destination of like, cool, this is the direction I want to go. At that point in a dream world, I would just forget about that. And now that I'm on the journey, I would enjoy the journey on its own merit. Because, as you know, if you set a goal, you hit the goal, it's like, well, happiness lasted, the joy from that lasts about 5 seconds, and then it feels like nothing. Even like sometimes it doesn't feel like anything at all, even for those 5 seconds. And so what I've been realizing a lot recently is that, yes, we're, I don't know, expanding the team and moving to an office in London and like hiring people and blah, 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 blah. But really, like, am I enjoying myself day to day? And am I kind of living the dream, as it were, day to day, and not so much worrying about the goal at the end of it?